diagnosed it, gave me a remedy, and saved my life. So I saw the guy who, in the Costco who administered the poison to me. What he had done is he sprayed a like a aerosol spray on the handles of the shopping cart. And for those listening who don't think it's possible, it is, because luckily I live. But my buddy, who is a scientist, Jerry Thomas, I told Jerry what happened to me. I said, Jerry, be careful. 3 weeks later, I didn't hear from Jerry. Finally, hear from him. He ended up, someone tried to get to Jerry, killed Jerry, and he spent a month in the hospital in a coma with pneumonia. And he said to me, he goes, yeah, somebody tried to take me out too. So,
Now, I personally haven't experienced having been tried to take out, but I have experienced the mysterious rash that's taken over my body, and I have to take medicine for it now. And when I went to the allergist told me that this rash happens to very few people, but when it is, 95% of the time that it can't be diagnosed. And I thought, in this day and modern age in medicine, you're going to tell me that I have a rash that within 24 hours makes it to where I can't breathe and I itch all over my body and get severe red welts, but you have no idea what it is. I mean, it's mind-boggling, you know. And if I don't take this medicine every day to combat it, then I'll just break out and I could go into anaphylactic shock.
well, it's interesting the timing that you getting this, because this.
Yeah, it was just a couple months ago in January, February.
Well, there you go. Well, in January is when I had my near-death experience with being
Well, I would
poisoned.
consider it exactly what you said, swelling. You
Right.
know, and if you touch it or itch it, then it becomes red and inflamed.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like well,
I mean, if you ever saw the movie The Incredible Hulk, where all of a sudden he goes from the character of a skinny, puny guy to all of a sudden the arms start like just like blowing up like a balloon. That's what happened to me. My arms got three sizes larger than they were. My hands got like baseball mitts almost, and it was rushing up to my elbow. Fortunately, as I said, I was close enough to my friend who was a doctor's office who was able to counteract this and quickly diagnose it. So, kudos to my homeopathic doctor is why I'm here today. And I decided because of this that I was going to just enjoy life a little more and not be the social activist that I once been, but to get people to think about what's really going on and ask themselves, are you buying or selling? Is this something that you really believe in? Because to me, I can't wear boots deep enough, in that stuff that they're trying to spew.
well, this isn't the first time this has happened to you, and you cover a lot more topics than I do. Um, anywhere from JFK to Obama conspiracy to, and again, for people that don't know about that Obama posed as Osama bin Laden prior to his presidency, where he was born, all of those things. You cover so many different grounds that you're more of a high-profile target than a person like me that just talks about Hollow Earth. But today I came in, to talk about more than Hollow Earth. Again, you can look at my website to find out all about Hollow Earth.
Well, give out
today
give out your website right now, Chris.
Again, it's centerstarschannel.webs.com. Again, centerstarschannel.webs.com. Make sure to check out every tab by scrolling up to the top of the page. One of the things I've noticed is that my webpage is so big at the front that it will cut off the tab section at the top of the page. So you'll want to go up there and make sure you hit every tab and go through it. But pretty much what I have on there is links to different ways to contact me, my telephone number, my email, my Facebook, all of those things, and then some tabs to videos that I've made, and one tab to at least one of the videos you made for me using some of my pictures. It's always constantly changing and flowing. There's more information on there. But what I had decided to interview with you about today is for people that already have this understanding of Hollow Earth, and moving on to a higher level of understanding of humanity and where we're going, where we've been, and what I see as the meaning of life, different things like that.
Speaking of meaning of life, based on your research, how has the meaning of life changed for you?
Well, the meaning of life to me before was that, you had to either agree or not agree with Christianity or whatever religion you're in, and that you needed to fear God. That if you were somebody that went against the conventional, you're definitely going to hell. And that there was no way around it. But what I'm going to explain is a whole new understanding to people that proves that God cannot be anything that's bad whatsoever. And not only that, that God is not a being per se at all.
So you would say God is more of an energy source then?
Well, it is an energy source, and I'll definitely get into that. But we got to start at the beginning to get to that part. So to begin with, just about every student in about the second through fourth grade, somewhere in there, the teacher will come in with, the science teacher or the teachers themselves will come in with a glass of water, and it's half empty or half full. It's just a half a glass sitting on the table, and they say to the students, today we're going to do a homework project called, is the glass half empty or half full? And so you're just sent home to figure this out, and you have to write your reason why. Well, the students that are more optimistic will see it as half full. They'll say that it's half a glass of water, half a glass of air, and it's completely full, or that the person filled it beforehand, and so they're more optimistic. The students that are pessimistic will see it as the glass is half empty. Me being an overthinker, I thought, well, it has to be both, or it can't be either at all, because we don't know if they filled it or if they didn't. So I walked up to my father, who was always busy, and I said, Dad, I have to do this project where the glass is half full or half empty. And he turned to me and he said these words, and I don't know if I can cuss. Can I cuss?
You can do whatever you like.
Okay. He turned to me and he said, Chris, it's just half a fucking glass. Who fucking cares? Those were his words. So, of course, me being wanting to fit in and just go with the flow, I said it was half full, and left it at that and moved on in life. Well, when I had this understanding and this epiphany, I went back to that and I realized the old man was actually pretty smart. It's just half a glass. We don't know if it's half full or half empty. And if we want to project that it's half full because we want to add air to it, then we're just trying to oversimplify things, and we're starting to add our own views and our own opinions in it. But the truth stands alone, and the truth is that the glass is just half a glass. That's it. So anything else is human perception and humans trying to oversimplify something that is a basic truth. And in that, I started thinking about the universe. And I came up with this in my head, that we have a something, and the something we can equate to matter. Agreed?
Yes, agreed.
Okay, and we have a nothing, and the nothing we can equate to space. Now, you know what a symbiotic relationship is, don't you, Stephen?
Mm-hmm.
A symbiotic relationship is where one cannot exist without the other. They're polar opposites. So matter has to have space to be in. And what would space be without matter to compare it to? So both must have always been infinite. Without beginning or end, we will always have space and matter. And then I thought about, well, what is life? And I thought about life, and I figured out energy equals life in my form of thinking. And if energy is life, what is the meaning of life? Well, then I figured out that the meaning of life is to observe, inhabit, and manipulate all matter in space. You need to be able to observe it for it to actually exist and have purpose. You need to be able to inhabit it, in other words, flow through it, and then you need to be able to manipulate it to make it your own so that you can inhabit it. Okay? And so that's what it is at the basic. The basic of the meaning of life is to inhabit, observe, and manipulate all matter in space. And some people would throw a fourth in there, which is manifest it, which means that it's ever-growing, that it started out with one little bit of matter in space, and it's ever-growing and expanding into what some people say at least the 7 known universes. I only know of one, but my research hasn't led me that far yet to know the other 7. But some people claim there's at least 7. And is it possible? Anything is possible. So then, here I had this understanding of the meaning of life, and then I started pondering the purpose of life. And this is where I needed to understand energy, life itself. And so I put energy down on a piece of paper. And what I came up with is just like matter in space, that energy itself has a scale. And at the extreme one end of the scale, the negative direction, would be devil, trapped, fear, bad, all of those things. On the other end of the scale would be God, light, peace, freedom. And life, human life, I believe, falls just below the center of that scale, to where, at least right now, that's the way it is. We are living in a darker area in our universe, and the darkness is what is ruling our planet and ruling our universe right now. And it's in the whole universe seems to be based off of this capitalistic ideal. And what I mean by that is that instead of working together in this universe to make the universe better, that even on our planet and other planets, that for a majority of the universe, it's all about what we can do for us and what we can do for our sole purpose of promoting ourselves to be better, for us, a more selfish look. And so I thought about the purpose of life, and what I came up with, and people may not agree with, is that we need to all start working together as a team, and that we will bring light in our area of the universe. And if we can set an example of that and do that for ourselves, that will spread like a fire through the universe, and it will bring balance to it, and maybe even bring light to our sector of the universe.
Well, it's an interesting point that you bring up, because right now we're ending the age of Pisces, and in the year 2060, and you can check this for Sir Isaac Newton and others. Author Zechariah Sitchin talks about the age of Aquarius coming in 2060, that this existing paradigm will change. So in these last years here, now till 2060, people are now waking up, becoming more aware that we are connected, that our thoughts are connected. Just like you and I are chatting here, there's somebody in Asia having the same kind of conversation that you and I are having, because we're all connected, and they're picking up once we put it out in the ether. So I know that right now, that when 2 or more people gather and speak, you create a situation where you get a spiritual essence that results from that, and there is a godlike substance that keeps this planet going, and there are people on the planet who are getting it exponentially and will get it, and those that are trying to keep us in the dark, so to speak, will have no choice but be exposed and become transparent. And I think because it's becoming transparent, and there are people, I won't mention who in particular, that have brought things to light, other people have been helped by their research, by their work, just by their questioning, because people are now trusting less but validating more.